To the Asa Bushnell Cup presentation. This will be the 11th time that we've been able to do this here in New York City after another outstanding Ivy League football season. So to get us all started, I'd like to welcome up the President and CEO of the National Football Foundation. He's a former commissioner of the Metro Southwest and Big 12. He also ran the National Finals Rodeo before he came to us at the National Football Foundation. President and CEO Steve Hatchell.
Thank you, Matthew. It's good to see all of you. And on behalf of our chairman, Archie Manning, and our board of directors of the National Football Foundation, we say greetings to all of you and thank you so much for being here. As Matthew mentioned, this is the 11th year that we've been blessed with the opportunity to do this with the Ivy League. And we view this as extremely important for the overall structure of what happens in football, and we love this. Usually it's the kickoff event on the week that we have our annual awards dinner. This past year, for a whole lot of reasons, we had that dinner in Las Vegas. So we have this event the week after our event. But we're thrilled to have this opportunity and to be able to work with Robin and her staff. This is the NYAC. You wonder why we're here. This is the official home of the William B. Campbell Trophy, who played and coached at Columbia and went on to be known as the coach of Silicon Valley, and a lot more about that. But a great friend and a great benefactor of the Football Foundation, so that's why we love being here. Tonight we will have that function here, and the 33rd recipient of the William B. Campbell Trophy is Iowa State's Charlie Kohler, and he will be at our event tonight. Charlie graduated in a short span of time, 399 in mechanical engineering, was a two-time first-team All-American, so a wonderful tribute to what can happen in football. I'm very proud of him. Before we get started, we'd like to give a thank you, a very warm thank you to very important people. Regina Conroy Keller, who is the president of the NYAC, who opened a lot of doors for us and to Dave Shakespeare, the governor emeritus of the New York Athletic Club. He's been a warrior for us in having all of our activities here at the NYAC for a long time. And personally, a special thank you to Hillary Jeffries, who's the director of special events at the Football Foundation, to Phil Marwell, our director of communications, and to Matthew Sine, our chief operating officer. The connections between the Ivy League and the NFF run deep, and this event has done a marvelous job in strengthening those relationships. Next year, the National Football Foundation will be 75 years old. So when we talk about a relationship that goes back, it goes back at least 75 years, and we're very proud of that history. We'd like to thank the Ivy League presidents, the athletic directors, especially Executive Director Robin Harris, for her leadership, and most of all, for her friendship. The National Football Foundation shares many ties to the Ivy League, from our shared belief in the scholar athlete, and that ideal and the challenges that we have in this day and time, to our mission that centers on building tomorrow's leaders through the sport of football. And our program, Future for Football, is one of the big missions that we have out there on all 50 states, making sure that we have a great future for the sport of football. We also share many of the same leaders, including there are 50 all-time National Football Foundation scholar athletes from the Ivy League. There are 138 members from the Ivy League in the College Football Hall of Fame. And the 5 Ivy League alumni that currently serve on our board of directors do so with great leadership, great vision, and wonderful support. The NFF board of directors, including the ones that we've mentioned before, include Jack Ford, Yale defensive back, who is here today, a marvelous friend, oversees the committee that selects the scholar athletes every year, which is an enormous task because of the numbers that are sent our way. And we'd also like to thank the 8 head football coaches of the Ivy League. Wonderful working with all of them. And finally, to the Ivy League, I'd like to extend a congratulations to all of you scholar athletes and players that are here today. You have a lot to be proud of. Your resumes are wonderful, and it's been a lot of fun watching you. And we get to listen to Jack talk about you on Friday night games on ESPN2, so it's been a lot of fun. Today's MC is very special for us, along with Jack. He is currently the chairman and CEO of Bruin Sports Capital, and he's one of the most influential people in all of sport. He's worn a lot of hats, head of IMG, NASCAR, before he had success in the business world, which he has and enjoys right now because of great leadership. He played offensive tackle at Brown and captained the Bears' 1988 football team, earning all Ivy League honors. He is a charter member of ours at the National Football Foundation of the NFF Leadership Hall of Fame. And he co-chairs one of the most important missions for us, and that of Future for Football, which we do with every aspect of football in the country, from the NFL down through Pop Warner. George is a 12-year veteran of the NFF Board of Directors, and we are honored to always have him with us. And so today, I'd like to turn the program over to one of the great people of the National Football Foundation and alum of the Ivy League, Mr. George Pine.
Thank you, Steve. It's great to be here. And for those of you someday, we had our banquet for the NFF last week in Las Vegas, and it was awesome. We put in 2 classes of Hall of Famers, and it was quite an experience. It was the most attended event in the NFF history, and that was a large part to Steve and his team. So look, very shortly we're going to hear from Robin Harris, the Executive Director of the Ivy League, who will announce the 2021 Offensive and Defensive Players of the Year. We're going to hear from the recipients themselves and their coaches. You know, as Steve mentioned, the National Football Foundation and the Ivy League share similar missions, and having strong ties to both organizations makes today extra special for me. Since 2009, I've had the privilege of serving on the National Football Foundation Board of Directors, and as Steve said, I was a Brown football player. You know, it's great to be here with some of these coaches now. I'm like an old shoe. I've been doing this for a while, but you know, so many of the coaches in front of me, I didn't want to pick out 1 or 2 because there are more than 2 who are really legendary coaches and done amazing things. And as a player, my son played at Brown, graduated from Brown. EJ was a teammate with my son, but I just want to recognize the coaches here, just outstanding men and leaders and very, very good football coaches. So it's great to see you guys, and thank you on behalf of everyone for all that you do. You know, my roots as an Ivy League football player have always been special, a special point of pride to me. And I think the young men in the front row and any other Ivy League graduate would agree that we're all better off for having been Ivy League football players. As an Ivy League football player, you learn preparation is just as important as the game itself. Nothing worthwhile comes easy. And most importantly, being part of something greater than oneself is so very special. You also learn the imperatives of time management and how to simultaneously succeed at the highest level in the classroom and on the field. You know, people forget these kids are going to school with the smartest people in the world and competing every day in the classroom and then having to go out and play Division I athletics. It's really something we can all be proud of. And I know that you all feel, as I do, that you're a much better person because of it. This year's list of finalists embody these lessons, and we are thrilled to hold them out as examples of the best the Ivy League has to honor. So congratulations to each and one of you for being here today. We take great pride in recognizing you as the Ivy League's very best. And I have to take a little bit of a pause here. I've been doing this, I think, for 10 or 11 years. I've only had 2 Brown football players ever nominated. And so it's very special for me to have EJ Perry here from Brown University, a great kid. I'm going to tell one little story on EJ. EJ was an intern at Bruin Capital. And I said, EJ, I really love the way you compete. He goes, well, I'm going to bring that competition to business. And he certainly did. So as a Brown Bear, we don't get to say this very often, EJ. We're quite proud of you. Before we move on to today's announcement, I'd like to ask Dave Shakespeare, Governor Emeritus of the New York Athletic Club and key liaison between the club and the National Football League Foundation, to make a few remarks. Dave?
Thank you, George. And on behalf of the officers, the governors, membership of the New York Athletic Club, welcome everyone to this wonderful event today. First, to the finalists, to even be considered and to be here is quite a statement in and of itself. So it's quite an honor. So congratulations to all the finalists. For over 150 years, the New York Athletic Club has had a very strong commitment to amateur athletics, to the Olympics, and also equally amount of time, over 150 years, to the Ivy League. So we at the club here feel that this is sort of a very natural association or kinship. So I want to thank the NFF, I want to thank the Ivies for selecting the club. We're very appreciative of that, and I hope we have a wonderful event. I know we will. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. It's now my honor to introduce Ivy League Executive Director Robin Harris, who will reveal the names of the 2021 recipients of the Asa S. Bushnell Cup as the league's offensive and defensive players of the year. Robin is in her 13th year as Executive Director, which I can't believe it's 13 years. And in that time, she's successfully guided the league back to the forefront of intercollegiate athletics. From her collaboration with the Big Ten on concussion research to groundbreaking sponsorship and television agreements, including an incredible deal with ESPN, the Ivy League has experienced unprecedented growth under Robin's watch, and she's really done a fantastic job. A big fan of Ivy League football. Robin, thanks for being here.
Thank you, George, and thank you for continuing to be such a terrific ambassador for the Ivy League and a representative of what our model brings. As a former student athlete who has gone on to lifelong success, you exemplify our unrivaled experience. So thank you. And I too can't believe it's been 13 years. I was 20 when I started. I want to welcome everyone who's here with us today. It's wonderful to see another packed room. We weren't sure what a different time frame and venue would bring, and you all are not disappointing. A quick note, I want to note that we do have 3 of our 4 amazing finalists with us today. Jeremiah Tyler was unable to travel to New York City today out of an abundance of caution due to COVID protocols. So we wish Jeremiah all the best, and we wish he could be with us here today in person. He is watching, I believe, live via Zoom technology. So we're thrilled that he can be with us in absolute spirit, and we have his family with us in person instead. So welcome. I also have a few thank yous. I want to thank the NFF, and in particular Steve Hatchell, Matthew Stein, and Phil Marwell for continuing to host this amazing event for the Ivy League. Particularly after you conducted what your largest NFF dinner last week in Las Vegas. We appreciate the attention and your support for the Ivy League. And I have, over the years, really come to appreciate our shared values in sportsmanship, leadership, athletic, and academic excellence. So thank you again for providing us this amazing opportunity to feature Ivy League football. I also want to thank the New York Athletic Club, and in particular David Shakespeare, for your wonderful hospitality and literally rolling out the red carpet for us today. And it's wonderful, as always, to see all of you here, our athletic directors, former Bushnell Cup winners, and so many distinguished alumni and friends. Thank you for making the time to be here today. And to our football coaches, you've done an amazing job. This past year brought so much need for resiliency, and you met the challenge with your teams, having tremendous success and excitement around the return to competition. The Ivy League, and in particular football this year, played a significant role in bringing a renewed sense of community to our campuses as we witnessed packed stadiums with tens of thousands, 20,000, 50,000 people attending Ivy League football games and even more watching on ESPN. Thank you for your leadership and your dedication as you continue to lead our future in your student athletes. And I also want to give a special congratulations to our Ivy League co-champions in Dartmouth and Princeton, and to our Ivy League Coach of the Year, Buddy Tevens. I also would like to congratulate Ivy League Rookie of the Year from Columbia, Joe Green. The Ivy League is a very special conference. We truly offer an unrivaled experience in college athletics. We provide world-class academics, unmatched campus opportunities, a pathway to lifelong success, and our student athletes experience consistent athletic success throughout their time in the Ivy League. For all of us here today and throughout the world, the pandemic brought great disruption to our lives. We also experienced the loss of competition and the sense of community that sports bring to us. And yet, this season reaffirmed the importance of Ivy League sports to our campus communities, to our administrators, to our coaches, to our alumni, to our fans, and most importantly, to our student athletes. Thank you to everyone who was involved in ensuring we could have an incredible football season with tremendous success. Now, to the reason we are really here today. We have the honor of celebrating our student athletes who embody the spirit and the success of the Ivy League model and truly represent the unrivaled experience that we provide. You have each prepared, you have worked hard, and you have earned the right to be here and to etch your names into the storied tradition of Ivy League football. First, let's meet our Defensive Player of the Year nominees, finalists. Please turn your attention to the video screen.